No, I really have no idea. I mean, obviously there is a lot of nepotism in the industry. I think, my dad introduced me to Mike Clattenburg, but then Mike and I were friends on our own terms as well. I got the job on Trailer Park because Mike thought I was talented, because I was his friend. I mean, I don't think that was because of my dad. This is funny. One time, my boyfriend at the time, his friend drunk dialed me, pocket dialed by mistake, and I picked up the phone and was like, hello, are you there? And I could hear him talking to this girl, and he was like, oh yeah, he's talking about me, coincidentally, and he's like, oh yeah, Sarah Dunsworth, her dad's in the industry, he's like a big time producer or anything. He just calls up people, says, oh, hire my daughter, and she'll make $10,000 a week or whatever. That's how she gets jobs. That's why she's got such a dope car. I'm driving like a 1979 Volvo, paying $500 rent in a place that I share with 3 girls in Dartmouth. Like, that never happened, but people definitely think that.
Being on that show for so long, and now a lot of people know who you are. Are you going to use that? Are you going to continue to do television now that the show seems like the Trailer Park Boys is on its way out? Are you still interested in being on camera and doing the whole acting thing?
I'm spoiled because I only act in things that I want to act in, and that's not because I have a lot of choice. I mean, somebody actually said to me, "Oh, Being Erica, that's a good show. Why aren't you on that?" I don't know, because the actress who's on it is on it and not me. Like, it's not like I don't have an agent.
You don't have an agent?
No, I don't have an agent. I couldn't, if I wanted to right now, I bet you I couldn't get a Toronto agent. Like,
really?
I think that people assume because you have notoriety or because you've been on a long-running show that you actually have a little bit more, what's the word, like pull. You have a little more decision on what you do. Like, I go where the phone takes me. I do what pays me. Right now, I'm in no position to turn something down, but I also don't usually audition for stuff. Like, Treevenge was fun. Trailer Park is fun. I did a short film with my friend Steve Arnold about 2 years ago called The Bridge, and that was fun. Like, that's why I like to act in things. I would hate to see acting be something that I did that was like a drudge or, tedious or unhappy. And I have done a couple of shows that made me miserable, like just day parts in a movie here and there that made me really upset and unhappy, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to be unhappy in my job. I don't want it to be acting.
Right.
There's a lot of other jobs I can be unhappy in.
Yeah, and I mean, well, does that happen like because people always wonder, like, as people that are creative and artistic, once that becomes their job, like their goal is to do that for a living, but once that becomes their living, do they become jaded from that and sort of like, and you don't love it as much once it's the thing you have to do every day?
I don't know. Maybe they do. I never have made my living from acting. I started working in a casting agency at a young enough age that I saw. So yeah, I saw those jaded old actors. There was a guy in town, one of the best actors I ever saw, Joseph Rudden, who passed away a couple years ago, who was totally jaded and unhappy because he couldn't make a living from doing what he loved to do. I always planned on having a backup. I always planned on doing behind the scenes as my main source of income and then acting on the side. So yeah, I guess probably people do. And I have worked with enough people, like there's a guy who was on one of those Canadian shows, maybe I shouldn't say, but
Don't say it.
I will. I don't care.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. His name's Chris Potter.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to say his name.
Name and names. I really don't care. He was on one of the movies of the week that I did, and he was obviously really unhappy to be there, and he was a miserable man to work with. Like, he was really mean to us. A couple years later, well, he's mean to me. I don't know if he's mean to everybody. A couple years later, he ended up doing something that was, I think, more like creatively rewarding for him, and I heard nothing but good things about him on the set. So obviously, yeah, it gets people down. It turns into a drag.
Yeah. Definitely. So you mentioned that. Toronto. You could go there, maybe get an agent, maybe not. Why stay in Halifax? I mean, because I think you probably could. I mean, you've been on the biggest show in Canada. I'm sure if you went to Toronto or anywhere else, Vancouver, you could probably make some noise. No?
I don't think so. I really don't. I couldn't. Other people on the show couldn't. I couldn't.
You don't think so?
No.
Why is that?
I know that if you were to ask Lucy this in the future, she would say, oh, people care. People don't really care. They don't care. And they
like, not even within the industry? They
no,
wouldn't.
I really, and I don't think people take us seriously at all. I know for a fact a lot of the crew members from Trailer Park have a hard time being taken seriously because people think that we get drunk and smoke drugs all day on set, which is so not true. It's a very challenging show to work on, but people think we go and make it up. I don't make that. I'm not that smart. I don't make that shit up. I have a script. I stick to it.
Right.
Almost everything we do is verbatim from the script. Like, every once in a while, if we have extra time, Mike will say, oh, do what you want. This is an anything goes take. That never makes it into the script because for something to work, you have to plan it. And I think people think of us as a what's a Rickyism, a one-note pony. You know, we're a one-note pony, and people don't see us expanding. Jonathan Torrance, you'll see he'll go on and he just had his own TV show that I worked on for a little bit, and it's going to be great. But Jono's been working his ass off in the business for years, right? Like, he's got credibility. Same with my dad. I know the three guys have a pilot for a show that they just came up with, and I don't know if people will let them make the leap. People don't want you to move on. You saw Seinfeld was the biggest show ever on TV.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those people go on to do anything good? Anything less than humiliating?
No. I think it would have been, like, for your dad and Jonathan, they were established before the show, and that's probably what helps them, because, because a lot of people, you probably get this a lot too, a lot of people think that show's real, even to this day.
Do. Yeah.
And so with those guys, they're like, oh, those guys are actors, but the rest of them are real, so maybe it helps them because people already knew who they were before the show, but they probably think, and you're using your real name, so that probably doesn't help.
Yeah, they have more connections as well. I mean, the character that Jonathan plays, if you know Jonathan at all, it's obviously not him. My dad, the lines are a little fuzzier because he is a method actor and he goes around a character half the time. Because you're successful in one capacity doesn't guarantee you success anywhere else. And you know what that means is that you just have to make sure that what you work on and what you do and what you choose to put your face on is quality, right? And it's a good product.
So do you enjoy staying in Halifax and like the Halifax industry?
I don't want to move because I just built a house here. My family's here. As much as we all hate the city, I love the city. Like, it's home.
Thanks for coming down, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
And anytime you want to come back, promote your work, more than happy. Check out Treevenge. You can watch it on the internet, right? Star of Treevenge along with her sister. She's going to be at Tim Hortons in 10 minutes, so if you want to catch her then, that's it. But thanks for coming down. Pleasure. And we didn't mean to take too much of your time. Go back out to this world and just be free. Be free. Until next time.